specifics of the instrument. We've turned the instrument on again by pressing the power button. It'll go through a 60-second countdown. It's important to make sure that during that 60-second countdown the probe is outside any places where it might be pulling flue gases. It won't hurt anything, but it'll just throw the zero off on the sensors. Again, keep in mind this instrument is not only a combustion analyzer. On the bottom of it here, there are two ports for the digital manometer that's included. And on this particular piece of equipment, we can use that digital manometer to check the gas pressure, set up the gas pressure. We can also use that digital manometer to test for maybe a faulty pressure sensor. We can also use it to do a static duct pressure test to make sure that that blower is providing sufficient air across the heat exchanger and across the air conditioning coil for efficient operation. And obviously we can also pull a flue gas sample out of this hole to make sure that this piece of equipment is operating safely, efficiently, and reliably. Okay, on this particular piece of equipment, we drill a hole in the PVC pipe. We're going to insert the probe into that hole. Check with the manufacturer of the equipment that you're installing and servicing, whether it's an oil-fired piece of equipment, gas-fired piece of equipment, a condensing unit, an old atmospheric piece of equipment, or an 80%er. Check with the manufacturer of that piece of equipment to determine what readings you should read in the display of this instrument. A few other things to keep in mind. You also want to make sure that the moisture trap is always below the level of the instruments. If you get it up here, you're going to end up maybe potentially sucking some water into it. The other thing it's a good idea to do is at the end of each job, if you see any moisture that's accumulated inside that moisture trap, just open it up, empty it out. If it's at the end of the day, just leave it open in the case, let the filter dry out. Let it dry out thoroughly. The other thing I would recommend you do is, at the end of each job, unplug the hose and probe assembly and let the instrument sit there and run for another 5 minutes or so just to dry things out inside.